Hello, my name is Swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the russwin number 2 grinder as we see it in front of the camera. I did travel a bit and go to exhibitions, and as I do that I always check a bit the thrift store in USA, as well as many times we find there bargains. And 3 of them we see here quick on the side. They are not washed yet. Those are drop forged and forged knives that we get for $1 each out of the used knife bin. One is even from Germany, Zwilling, Solingen, Germany. That's a bit hard for the camera, but you see what I try to say. For $1, that's a great buy. We're gonna clean it up and resharpen it. Those things are completely dull. Even the serrations are not much, but for $1 we cannot complain. And after the resharpening and cleaning, it's always needed to disinfect those, because who knows where those items were before in their lifetime. Same is with this grinder as well. So if you don't have too much money, or you work on a budget, and who not gonna like to save a bit money anyways, check out the thrift stores in your area. Have a look, get a bit friends with the people there and tell them you look for this and this. So as you come back, they gonna tell you already, as they remember, yeah, you did look for that item, and look what I got in. So that helps a lot. And to come back to that russwin grinder number 2 here, that most of you quite likely never saw that, especially the younger people. That is a meat grinder. Now in USA, hunting is legal for pretty much everybody with a cheap permit and a safety course test that is really basic and works for safety, but it's not like in Europe, where that is basically only for the rich people and for those who know other people that it works out. Let's say it that way. In USA, pretty much everybody can go hunt, even women, even kids, and that's the way how it should be. Or if you buy the meat and you make your own sausage and other items, like in my case, that I gonna try out soon, because here in USA we don't get the sausages like we got in Switzerland, and for my taste I need a bit to make that myself, and that's why I found this grinder. It was $20 at the thrift store, in a pretty good condition. I need to clean it up, of course, and disinfect, as I did tell before. And it comes with 3 of the grinding wheels as well. We're gonna have a look at those. Now this machine here is really old, and I had to assemble it a bit, and we see on the handle, we see the patent in Canada, August the 27, and then it says 01, and no, that is not 2001, that is 1901. I did look it up online as well. It's 1901, so that says it all. Of course it's made after 1901, but still it's pretty old. It's pretty old, but it still works well. I did already test it a bit out, and we're gonna have a look on how that item is gonna work. We see russwin number 2. The russwin, it's pretty heavy. The russwin company did mainly work with cast metal. I saw online they made also doorknobs and locks and all that. So we see this piece is completely cast iron. It's a heavy piece, solid. It's not a plastic Chinese cheap garbage. It's gonna last you a lifetime. The only parts that gonna wear a bit is the grinding wheels, which we're gonna look a bit later in the video. And then it's a bit harder to read the complete name of the Russwin company and where it is manufactured in Connecticut, USA. This one, I don't know why it's a Canada patent on that one. Oops, I'm a bit outside of the camera. Here we see the Connecticut, USA. So about the history of that company I did not find too much, but we're gonna have a look how that works. On the bottom, gonna switch that a bit over. On the bottom we see this part here, so that is really simple to clamp on a table, right? This one is like a clamp. You put it on your favorite table that is a bit solid and you clamp it down. So it has two legs that goes on the table, and from the bottom it clamps with this one. So it is sturdy and solid because you need that as you do the cycling motion for the grinding, right? Then as I take it now apart, we have by the handle part this part here that unscrews. I did a bit oil on it. Then you can take out the handle, and you see because the handle here is conical, it's gonna have a self-adjusting fit on it. So that is really nicely done. You can only mount it one way. We see here the round cut out for the screw there. So the handle is solid made part here with the wood that spins around, so you really get a good grip and can turn the action. Put that down. Then we have the main part, and here we saw already that would have been turned, and there we see the Schnecke, the snail as we say in Switzerland, that pushed the meat out of the front. And here we have that part here that holds the two sides together. I'm gonna take that off in a minute. First we come from the other end, we unscrew that part here with the nut, and there we have one of the grinder blades that simply goes in here as the thing is turned, as the thing is moving and turning like this, it would grind. So to change the blade you simply take that out, put other blade in and put the screw back on. And this one is to make peanut butter and other fine, really fine grinded items. So we have the most fine, that's a bit less, and this is more coarse grinded. Of course you can grind it 2 or 3 times through the machine, then you get it really fine. It depends what you use. And we see here that plate here with the holes gonna come out. We see the dimple here that goes in between here can go only here, because this can't turn around, just the grinder blade. And there I need to make more of those plates. It's a relatively easy part. I see online there are different, minimum 2 different of those plates that has holes, just round holes One has only a few round holes and one has a lot of round holes. That is where the meat get pressed through and then it get grinded up, or whatever you have, you know, the grits, whatever, corn or whatever. So there I need to make more of those plates. Pretty easy part, not much to deal with that. So we now take it apart. Still a bit on the pollens. As we take the middle part out, it's that easy. We see the snail. Quick need to wipe out a bit the oil, as that thing was completely old and in storage. I had to oil it a bit just to check the function and how it works. And unfortunately I did not see many videos show how that goes back together. It's pretty simple to figure out, but still better if you have a video, you simply watch that and then you know how. So that is the heart of the grinder. Here again, the other way, goes in the handle and then the screw, and from the other side we see the square goes right over that it can't turn, and then that part goes on top and secure it. That much. So, and it's so solid, so massive made that hardly ever gonna break. Really good. And then we have the main part here. Again, the plate is still in place, and prior I take it apart with that lever we can separate. It has hinges. I'm gonna talk about that part here. It has some kind of threading outside that unfortunately the attachment of this I don't have. There would have be a big nut that oil and grease that goes around here that you can screw on, and then it forms like a pipe. As it goes out it forms like a pipe, and there the peeling of the sausage you put over it, so you can make sausages with that thing. You can fill the meat right into the skin of the sausage. So that part unfortunately is missing. I'm gonna check a bit on eBay, and if somebody has that part that would fit on here, please send me an email on the contact form of the swissbianco website. So the problem is that threading here is a bit a unique thread. It's not something that easy to find, and it needs to be tight that the meat won't come out by the threading. So we see how we do that. Now we're gonna open it up. As we see that part here, it just flips over, right? And then the whole part here gonna open. And then is where we can take out the plate, as I did talk about. It's gonna go in from both sides. Just the dimple here needs to go below here, that it fits. We can't close the item like that. The dimple needs to be below here. So it's really simple, the whole mechanism. And here we have it. Now it is open. As we see the hinges here and here, we simply can open it. We can clean it completely out. We can boil it a bit in a hot water to disinfect and all, and we see it has a nice condition on this part. Nicely done, and the hinges are solid enough with the rivets that's gonna last, no problem at all. So that much how it is to take apart. Of course, as you grind the meat, there you should not use too much of an oil, but as in Switzerland I did see some places where they did make food and other items there, that they say there is always a little bit of oil or something that goes into the food too, and that is not something to worry about, because remember, as that is a sausage, we're gonna heat that up and cook it anyhow. Or we're gonna eat it, or if you make the hamburger with that grinder, if you have a deer, and process the meat, which is perfectly fine in USA, to make a bit deer burgers or something like that. That is really nice, and you can add on some darker meat or more grease, whatever you want. You can grind it a couple times. You can start with the bigger, the coarse one, if you have things that are a bit on the coarse side. It depends whatever you want to do with it. So why we should have one of those, for me, it's basically a bit preparation. Such an item, as we got that for that $20 completely are a deal. So if I ever decided to no longer need that, we sure get the money out on that. As I checked out eBay, they are higher price, and this one is complete. That also matters. The plates that are missing, I can make myself pretty easy. That is not that much of a deal, and the grinding wheels wear down over time as well. So one day I'm gonna make a bit more of those grinding plates too, as I see which one is used the most. Such parts can be easily made out of a tool steel. It would be nice, of course, if it's stainless steel, but it doesn't have to be, as long as it kept clean and not rusting. Then even a carbon steel would work pretty well for such, and that will not harm you much in any way at all. So another feature on this machine, it's hand cranked. It doesn't need any electricity. It is so solid made that it's gonna outlast for centuries. It really gonna last for a long time. Just the smaller parts, the grinding wheels, that gonna wear out over time if you grind a lot. But yeah, everybody that prepare a bit should get something like that. So worst case, we can grind a bit the squirrel and the deer up, and have a bit a meat or a corn or a maize, as we say in Swiss, which is corn in English, just to not completely depend on the stores and on commercial organizations, that we can do that ourselves. Yeah, that much about the russwin grinder number 2. There was a number 1 as well, quite likely bigger, but this size here is perfectly well for a family use.